Right, guys, welcome back. We're looking at the exponential graph. Now, I want to show you, in the previous lesson, we shifted the basic graphs up or down. We didn't go left, right. Now we're going to go left, right, or up and down. Now look at this. Sketch the graph of the functions. There's our basic graph, and we've got 2 to the x minus 1. Now remember, if you think about the hyperbolas, the x minus 1 was actually a shift to the right. X plus 1 is a shift left. It works in reverse. And the way I do it, and this is the important thing that I do here with these guys, is if I look at this chap, I always equate him to 0 and x is 1, and that's positive, so it's 1 right. You immediately know it. You're not doing anything to the y's. Here, that's where if we put that equal to 0, we get x equals minus 1. That's 1 left. So this is you adding 1. This is you subtracting 1 from the x values. Okay, with this is going to be, again, we're shifting 1 left, so this tells me 1 left, but this tells me 1 up, and you add 1 to the y values, you see. So this is so important. If you get this, these graphs are very simple. Okay, now let's have a look at the first one. So I've got my little x values and my basic values. That I'm not going to worry about. We've worked it out. But now, the thing is, what I want to do is I want to know, what do we do to get the graph of, if we sketch this guy, how do we do it? Well, let's see if we go and do that. Well, what are the coordinates there? Very simple. Well, you've got, if you take the basic graph, if x is minus 1, it goes to a half, okay? And then there's 1 here. So there's 1, there's a half, there's minus 1, there's 1, and let's go up to 2. Okay, and then 0, 1, and 1, 2. So that's your basic graph. Now, with this basic graph, we want to shift it up, down, left, right, or left, right, up, down. Okay, now let's look at this. How do we approach that? Okay, now if we take, again, our little basic graph, I call it the mother graph, and now let's look at this. Now, what are we doing? We're not affecting the y values. We're not affecting the y values here. But this minus 1 says, and this is the important thing. So if you look at this expression, okay, so we're going to affect the x's. These guys are going to be affected, but we're not going to do anything to the y values. So this we put, if you take that expression, put it equal to 0 and 1, we know that we got 1 to the right, and that affects the x values. These guys are going to be affected. Now, what do I do if I add 1 to all of those? I'm going to get minus 1 plus 1 is 0, and then 0 plus 1 is 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So your x's are being affected there by that. X minus 1, okay. Your y's, there's nothing tagging on. There's actually plus 0 there, so we're really adding 0 to the y's. Okay, so these are the new. So the y values remain unchanged. Okay, remember, that tells me 1 right, but there's a 0 there, and that says don't do anything to the y's. Now let's sketch those. We've got 0 to half, 1, 1, and 2, 2. Let's check what happens here. So if we go to our little diagram, okay, what we can do is we can say, well, also we're going to shift left and right. So let's get a pen here. Okay, the 1 point, I'm just going to rewrite those coordinates that we got from the last time. 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 2. So 0, a half will go there. Okay, that will be 0 and a half. Okay. And then we also get, let's go and have a look at this. We're going to get 1, 1, which is x is 1 and y is 1 there. So that's 1, that's a half. 1, 1 is there. Okay, so that's 1, 1. And then 2, 2 is 2 and 2, which goes there. So your graph is actually doing this. It didn't go, it just simply shifted. Now, the other graph, if you remember, was minus 1, a half, 0, 1, and 1, 2. That was our other graph. It did this. The other graph, this one here. This was y equals 2 to the x. But this one is 2 to the x minus 1. There's a shift right. Do you see that there? Okay, stay with me. Okay, let's carry on. Now, what about this one? If we look at that, we got our little basic graph again. But what if we look at 2x plus 1? Okay, now again, what we're doing, and this is so important, is you've got this thing, and if you put that equal to 0, you get x equals minus 1. So the x's are going to shift, that's 1 left, and there's no change here, no change for nothing happens here. So what we do is we affect the x's by subtracting 1. So if you subtract 1 from there, -1 is -2, 0 minus 1 is -1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. The y values stay the same. Okay, and I love this because it's really, really cool. Now we can sketch the graph very simply. Okay, if we go there, let me write those coordinates down that we're going to sketch. We've got -2½ we had -1 and 1, and 0 and 2. So let's see, it's -1, -2, and a half is there. Okay, that's a half. There's 1, there's a half, -2, -1. -1, 1 is there, and 0, 2 is there. Okay, if there was 2, 0, 2 is there. And your graph does this. See that there? Goes up there if you plot those points. And what was the original graph? The original graph was this one. It was that one. It was that graph. So this one is y equals 2 to the x, and this one is y to the 2x plus 1. There's a shift of a unit to the right. Okay, so stay with us, guys, as we pursue what if I now move left, right, and up and down. It works like the hyperbolas, and master this method. It is revolutionary. Stay with us on Matrics Uploaded.